Chris did excellent. He really did an excellent job, especially since I just told him right at the end of walkthrough, I said, you're one of those guys that you don't speak much. I said, I can't remember in recent past when I've had you speak. He said, well, whenever I'm asked, I'll do it. And I said, well, you're doing it today. And he did a great job, and he just complimented the team in the way they work, and he just talked about himself and the way that he prepares and the way that, he's, rose to the level where he is today.
What is the thinking of putting Corey Williams in the lineup this week?
Well, it's one of those things to where we have a lot of young guys that we need to see. And then also, with the past incident, there's still some terms and conditions being held there. And then it just gives him an opportunity to see what he can do. He's a young guy. He's played in this league. And, there's some things that we can do offensively with him. But, got to get his feet wet and see where we go with that.
Is that also part of the Chillin's performance wasn't what you made?
No, it was more so just about some of the things that we're trying to do within the offense. Chaz, to me, when I look at Chaz, to be honest with you, and I told him this the other day, he reminds me of Taj in the first year, to where, I can remember when we first started out, there was a couple other guys we had ahead of Taj, but, we believed that he would catch on, and eventually he did, and he's one of the top players in this league. So, we asked those guys to do a lot early. And every time a new guy steps in there, they're a little brain cramp because it's the CFL when they haven't had experience. So, no, go ahead.
Is this the end of the discipline for Taj, or will there still be more ramifications?
Well, there's always ramifications, but it's just as far as on the field, that's probably where it goes. As it goes, like if Williams has a lights out game, then maybe he holds that spot. But right now, that's where we are, and then once this is over, we'll move forward from there.
We talked to Taj this week, progressing through this. We talked so much about the family aspect of it. Have you had a chance to guide him along?
No, once we spoke, I think early in the week, it was on an off day. Then since then, we haven't talked about it. It's been football. It's been all about football. He knows, it's not like I'm dealing with 8-year-olds. He knows exactly what he's done and what he has to do to get to where he wants to be as a professional and as a person.
Corey, have you talked to this team this week about being overconfident at all or not?
No. We talked about just making sure we don't, read all the blogs, read all the guarantees that's out there and all those good things that allows us to get unfocused. It's a football game, and we have to move forward and work to win.
Which blogs are these?
There's a couple of guys local that says a guaranteed victory. There's no such thing as a guaranteed victory. You have to work for 4 quarters.
You have Jerome Messina facing his former team with that kind of baggage and move forward. Is that going to come into play, how you use the 2 running backs?
The only thing I told Jerome when I spoke to him is, hey, this is your old team. I don't see anything silly, but there's a lot of guys that's played for him. Just move forward. You're doing a good job. Continue to do what you do. Don't play someone else's game. Play our game.
Could you see Jerome having a type of game against a more traditional defense of Montreal than against Winnipeg with the smaller guys?
He's a good back, and he's done some things in this league. So I think, however it shakes down between he and Will, the biggest key is it's not just about the individual. It's about, if we come out there with the yards we need run game-wise to sustain some drive and do different things like that.
Has it gotten to the point with the running game where it's what you see from the other defense will decide in the game who you're going to send out there?
I think it's probably leaning toward that, and sometimes it's just, the luck of the draw with those guys on, who's tired, who hits the hole better and all those things. But they're both working well together. And like I said, sometimes it is just some schemes don't match up against some of those backs. And I think that's a good luxury.
Can you empathize with what Montreal's going through right now, just kind of struggling to find kind of that identity and find the guys?
I thought early in the season coming out of training camp, I thought we had the same type deal, where, as a head coach, you're trying to figure out how to replace all the guys you lost. So I definitely understand how that is. And, I think the bigger thing for Montreal is because they had so much success, and they still have some of those players over there, and they've had so much success that, it's kind of hard to tear away from back-to-back championships and different things like that, and with all the coaching changes. So, I just think they're trying to find their way, and, as Tom's the leader, he just has to rally them, and put them behind him and say, this is the way we're going. It's not the way they used to do it. This is the way we're going to do it.
So what makes it dangerous, I guess? You guys have, like you said, turned the corner. How do you guys avoid being the ones that they turn the corner against?
It's playing football, and I fully expect them to come in here with that mindset, and that's something that I mentioned to the team. The team understands that. It's not they're going to come here limping. They still have some of the top performers in the league on their team. So we know that. We just have to be prepared for that. They're going to do some things, but we still have to just play football. There's games where they probably could have won. And I know they've gone through the quarterbacks, they've gone through the changes, and now they seem like they're a little bit more stable. So, we'll see how that goes, but we're prepared to play a football game and to win a football game.